while the storehouse embedded into the side of the hill has worked so far, going forward, the future of Industriville will require the ability to automate the handling of storage in the storehouse, and the storehouse embedded in the hill isn't going to cut it for that purpose. So to that end, I need to bring it out of the hill, and that means building a brand new building for the storehouse. But in order to do that, I need to move a few other buildings out of the way, like the Industrial Research Center and Farmer Jones's house. Yes, unfortunately, that does mean Farmer Jones will be homeless for the time being. That will be sorted out later. I also need to take care of the silo. It looks good, it worked well, but it's in the way, and unfortunately, that means it has got to go. Now, the demolition of the research center and the farmer's house were relatively straightforward, but the silo has a significant inventory inside it that needed to be relocated before I could actually finish the demolition of the silo. And I actually took care to set up a temporary area to store everything from the silo and from the storehouse until I can get the new storehouse built. Of course, I had to use dollies in order to move all of the chests and the barrels out of the silo. And moving inventories using the dolly is not the quickest of processes. Maybe there would have been faster, more effective ways to move it, but well, it wasn't a massive priority. But now that I've got the site roughly cleared out, I need to take care of the lake that's embedded into the side of the hill, opposite the storehouse, of course. And once I have the lake sorted out, then I can figure out how I'm going to build the road. Now, as tempting as it is to say that the old royal palace should be off the road completely, the fact of the matter is, the reason I relocated the royal palace was only half so that I could build a bigger royal palace. The other half of it is so that I could reallocate the site of the current royal palace for another purpose. But that's a project for another day. I've taken care of removing a bunch of the old roads because, like the buildings, they're in the way, as were the corresponding light posts. And once I got the road and the light posts sorted out, I needed to move all of the inventories out of the old storehouse so that they're accessible when the time comes to move everything into the new storehouse. And once I had all of the inventories out of the old storehouse sorted out, I could start actually building the new storehouse. And I've opted for a very thick corner column. The idea being that I can basically have a too thick wall on the column on the exterior and still have room on the interior for a walkway within the columns. This will allow me access behind the various inventories, which will in turn allow me to facilitate the various types of automation that will or may come into play in the future. Now that I've got the basic site blueprint sorted out, the next step is to figure out where the chests are going to go and to build support columns in the general vicinity of where the chests will go. And as far as the chest space, I'm basically going to have a ring of a walkway. There will be chests on the interior island and then along the exterior walls. Although I don't quite have enough chests to completely fill up the storehouse, so there will be gaps in the exterior walls. Now that I figured out where the chests are going to go, I've laid down the service corridor with, I think I used dark oak planks for that. And then I used chiseled sandstone for the main floor of the storehouse before setting up the front entryway. That is to say, where I will be entering the storehouse going forward. And now that I've got the entrance into the storehouse sorted out, it's time to start building up the walls as well as the support columns and beams. And I also took this opportunity to sort out the lighting. The last thing I want is for zombies, skeletons, and the like to be able to use the interior of the storehouse as a breeding ground of sorts. And before I actually build up the walls, or at least the exterior walls, I felt it was appropriate to move the chests and the barrels into the storehouse. After all, the chests and the barrels are the reason I built the storehouse in the first place. And as I said earlier, I didn't have enough chests and barrels to actually completely fill the storehouse, but that's not a problem at this point. But now that all the inventories have been placed in the storehouse, it is time to start building up the exterior walls. Now, I did attempt a couple of different ideas for what I was going to do for the exterior walls. And after a little bit of experimentation, I elected to use white stone. I felt that it worked really well with the rest of the materials I was using, particularly the dark oak columns. And once I got the wall material decided, it was a relatively straightforward task to build the walls up the rest of the way. And after a little bit of additional inventory cleaning and support column construction, it's time to build the ceiling for the interior of the storehouse, and also the roof of the storehouse. And I had initially elected to place the steps that were going to go up to the roof, following the contour of the roof exactly. But after a bit of consideration, I concluded that that wasn't going to work so well, and I decided to have it a pure rectangle as far as the roof goes, which means there's a bit of an awning or a bit of an overhang over the area immediately surrounding the walls, but it's a look that I really like. And of course, once I get the overhang decided, I can finish up the actual roof on the first half before proceeding to the second half of the storehouse with its ceiling and its roof. The storehouse is finished, and all of the storage in Industriville, with the exception of a couple of specialist chests in the Arcane District, have been moved in. There are three key pieces of technology that have been used heretofore. The first is the wooden chest. Of course, each wooden chest can hold 27 slots, 27 stacks. Of course, stick two of them together and they merge into a double chest, but that means you can't stick three of them next to each other. This central area is well designed for the wooden chest, although eventually most, if not all, of these will be upgraded to iron chests, which are the second type of storage technology used heretofore. Of course, there are different materials that can be used. Iron is, of course, the most common, and a single iron chest has as much capacity as a double wooden chest, and you can actually stick them next to each other without them interfering. so you can have a long row. The third technology is the barrel. Now each barrel can hold 64 stacks, more than either the iron chest or even the double wooden chest, but each barrel can only hold a single type of item. Very useful if you have materials that you have a significant quantity of, like this dirt, for example. But a bit less useful for things that you have less of, like redstone at the moment. There is, however, industrial scientists have developed a fourth type of storage technology. So let me go ahead and start the preparations for those. Actually, it looks like I'm going to need even more chests than that, won't I? Yes. There we go. Now, let's see, I can go ahead and craft even more chests. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start the process of, putting 4 chests together. Hold on a minute. I don't think that's the way I want it, is it? No, I think I want like so. There we go. The oak drawer is the latest in industrial storage technology. Let me get my axe out, because that one somehow got misplaced. There we go. See, they have their limits, but, they can only store, I think, about 8 stacks in each drawer, but they get 4 drawers, so they're actually a little bit better than the barrel, which can only store 1 type of item. And I hope you don't mind, I've already started the process of moving things into these drawers. And specifically, I'm going to start with ingots here. There we go. Gold, silver, lead, and let's go bronze is the 4th one up here. Gold, silver, lead, let's put that there. And then the bronze can go in there. I'll leave the rest of these in here for the time being. Let's see, how about the ores? Alright, let me see if I can match up the ore to material. Let's see, lead ore goes down there, and then iron ore is there. Osmium, and then copper. So let's put some copper up. Let's see. Interesting. So I do have a little bit of tin ore. I'll actually put the aluminum ore to correspond with the bronze. The bronze is, of course, an alloy. And I have no gold ore on hand. So that will have to do me for now. Alright. I'm actually going to go ahead and, well, most of the rest of these can go up, but there is one other thing that I can do. Let me actually go ahead and grab a half stack of cobblestone, I think. Let's see, there we go. I forgot the iron. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I think is okay. Wait, or do I want... I'm not sure exactly. I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Let's put some stone there. If I can actually get it to stay. There we go, okay. Alright, so let's just make the 4 for the moment. And now, what I'm going to do... that's not what I want. Oh, and it looks like these I'll want a pickaxe to remove. There we go. And I'd probably be well served with some scaffolding at this point. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And now what these compacting drawers will do, and let me go ahead and put up the rest of my materials. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of my cobblestone. Ooh. Very nice. Excellent. So what will happen here is it'll take the cobblestone in slot 1. It can compress it, and then again a second time. Now if I take this double compressed, it turns into 9 compressed. Each compressed turns into 9 regular cobblestone. So that's going to be great as far as storage goes. And I'm going to see if I can get a similar result with the dirt. There we go. Excellent. Now let's grab all of the dirt, or as much of the dirt as I can, out of here. I'll just go ahead and empty this out. There we go. Excellent. Alright, so at this point, I don't need the dirt or the cobblestone anymore. So let's actually go ahead and put gravel in number 3 there. Excellent. Now, what should go in that number 4 slot? You know what? Let's go ahead and put redstone. Excellent. Alright, so now I've got redstone, gravel, dirt, and cobblestone. Actually, now that I think about it, though, there we go. And let's see, I think I'd like the redstone to be closer to eye level. There we go. So let's put the gravel there. Perfect. And now, there we go. And let's grab the rest of that. Oh, uh-oh. That wasn't actually what I wanted. There we go. Well, it gave me some triple compressed cobblestone. But I can turn that back in, or triple compressed dirt rather, but I can turn that back into double. Excellent. Alright, now that's a more sensible approach. And of course that leaves me with now 5 barrels that I have to reallocate, but I'm sure I can figure... Actually, come to think of it, what do I have in terms of wooden logs? I've got a lot of oak and a lot of dark oak, don't I? Come to think of it, a lot of birch as well. So let's see if I can get the dolly. There we go. Birch wood and some dark oak. So let's put that up there. That goes up there. And then I can put that there. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do with those two later. But for now, I'm happy with the storehouse I've got at this point. Of course, I do have some more of these oak drawers, which I can go ahead and put down. Actually, might as well go ahead and place down the rest of these oak drawers in this area here. Yeah, there we go. So, 4 different technologies for industry and storage. I'd say our storage is coming along quite nicely. But of course, the next step in the Industriville storage revolution is to actually bring in resources from the outliers into the storehouse. But that's going to require a bit of a rail network before I can do that.